Mental distancing seems to be more important in pandemic. Social distancing, we can just do it by keeping a physical distance. But if the mind is surrounded by the fear of losing the job, fear of getting infected, fear of being isolated, so that how to do that mental distancing while keeping mind in peace, emotions in emotional poise. And I remember the most beautiful verse, Manaiv Manushyanam Karanam Bandhamokshayo Bandhai Vishaya Saktam Nirvishayam Muktai Smratam, coming from the Upanishad. Upanishads are the very deep text. So every verse it explains the meaning. So this verse is explaining the mind versus the man. Mind with man. Mind with the human race. Mind versus the human race. Manaiva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. The cause of all the suffering and the bondage, including the effects of pandemic, is the way the mind lives, the way the mind behaves, the way the mind thinks, speaks, and acts. We have heard about it. What you think, you become. So first step is the thinking. Second is, you can say speaking. And third is translating that thought into an action. What will I do? Now I'm totally isolated. I cannot move out. What is that? It is the mind that is excited, that is craving to go outside, to have the social interaction. So that mental thought is more dangerous than the social get together. Just see that. Just think of it. Think of it. So what the verse says, when the mind is running after the objects, things, people, events in the world outside, the mind is running outside. It is facing to the world outside. Why it is facing to the world outside? It is constantly thinking and expecting pleasure, happiness, love, wisdom from the world outside. That causes the mind in isolation. So the mind is constantly triggering you with certain thoughts. I'm not able to meet that guy. What will happen? I love this and that. And the mind becomes crazy. So mental distancing. Now, when the mind is thinking wrongly, moving outside, attached to the things, people, and the world outside is causing you the suffering. It is not because of the social and the mental distancing. It is because the mind has acquired the habit of running outside. Why it is running outside? For the sake of peace and happiness. It is seeking something outside where it is not. How can you say? I know you will ask that question. How can you say, I was so happy in the world? I was getting all kinds of pleasure, going to the restaurant, meeting people, my friends, hugging them. Have you done all these acts before? You will say yes. How many times? Maybe thousands of times. Are you repeating the same in your daily life? You will say yes. Now answer me. days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years, your mind is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. What is that different result? That's a permanent peace of happiness. Can't you educate your mind? Give a shock to the mind. You have been doing this, repeating this for days, weeks, months, and years, and I'm still not able to find the permanent happiness, love, and the wisdom. That process of the mind being done unconsciously and habitually causes the problem of social isolation. So, how to turn the table? Can you think of it? How can you turn the table? The verse, this says, Nirvishayam muktai smratam, turn the face of the mind. Learn how the mind causes the attachment, and attachment causes the delusion, and the delusion has been continuing for years, days, weeks, months. So how can you change the mind? Means how you educate the mind, means how you start working on the mind. What it means by working on the mind? Thinking. So there are two types of thinking: right thinking, wrong thinking. Right notion, wrong notion. So when the mind starts jumping on the objects, on the people, on the things outside in the world, become aware and alert. Start rethinking. That is, the movement outside causes the wrong notion. Now you start thinking, let me move the mind within. It has been a habit of the mind to move outside to seek that pleasure, happiness, craving. It is like you are a left-handed, and you have trained your left hand to write. One master speaks of it. He's a great master. I'm using his simile. Now you want to write with the right hand. You know what to write. You know the alphabets. You have a pen. You have a paper. And still you cannot write successfully, clearly with your right hand because you are left-handed. What should be done? Set the goal in the mind. I have to write with my right hand. Let me start it. I know everything. What to write. I have a pen. I have a paper. So what is going to happen after few sessions, few hours using the right hand? The right hand gets the skill set. Same way. The mind that is causing the problem with the right notion and right thinking, as you start educating the mind. Learning, not only first step, by knowing clearly what is right and the wrong notion. Second, understanding it clearly. The mind has been heavily conditioned to do that, but I can turn the table by intellectually understanding, followed by the practice. So in this session, we will do the self-awareness practice, which will help the mind to purify. So purification of the mind relaxes you, and ultimately we move the mind within to help the mind to gain that skill set which will help you even keeping the social distancing and mental distancing by living in peace and happiness. So let us start with the self-awareness practice. you raise the awareness. So when you raise the awareness, the mind breaks the habit. It also purifies the mind. So close your eyes. First preparatory step is closing the eyes and being comfortable. So make the position, right position of the body, sitting or lying down, whatever you want to do. In trying times, it is better to follow naturally with the least resistance from the mind. So you're sitting or lying down, eyes are closed. Move the mind on the head and the neck. We are preparing. And feel the sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. Remember, are you aware? Yes. So what did I say? I'll open the eyes and close the eyes in between. So you don't move the neck joint to your mind. You move the mind to the neck joint. It means the body doesn't move. It lives in the state of being comfortable. So move the mind on the shoulder joints, feel the sensation, being comfortable in steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. Feel the sensation and being comfortable and steadiness. Do you remember what we discussed? The mind is the cause of the suffering and mind is the cause of the solution. Mind moving outside, attached, problem. Mind moves inside, drops the attachment and goes in search of inner peace and happiness, solution. Social distancing, isolation that causes anxiety and other challenges will drop by itself. You are with yourself. So the first step now, the eyes are closed, you are in the state of being comfortable. And now start breathing through both the nostrils, quick and fast, quick short breath. With eyes closed, looking deep inside, please continue. Continue breathing, continue breathing. We are doing it only for a minute. Continue, continue, continue. And stop this breathing. Eyes remain closed during the entire practice. That will maximize the result. And now start inhaling deep, silent and slow from the belly and the chest up to the throat. And while breathing out, keeping your focus inside the forehead, while breathing out, you make the humming sound louder, deeper, and longer. I'll do a couple of times with you. Continue doing that humming sound in the state of steadiness in the body. Continue. Continue. And stop this humming sound. Continue to live into the same position, the steadiness of the body. And now we move to the third step. Move the mind on the head and the neck. Be there. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the right arm. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the left arm. Again, you remember you're moving the mind, not the body. And as you move the mind on the left arm, the mind continues to be there. Your experience of deepening the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the chest and the belly. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg. Be there, feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. Be there, feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the entire body. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. In that state, when the mind is moving inside, living within, look at the breath. Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. When the breath goes in, mentally count mentally in 1. When the breath returns out 1, again it goes in 2, comes out 2. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Why? Because if you change the rate and the rhythm of the breath, it is the old mind, conditioned mind, will rush outside. So we are living just above the mind by counting the breath. Continue counting the breath. No change in the position of the body. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And now is the time to do nothing. You live into that state of doing nothing. Why I say live into that state of doing nothing? The mind always likes to do something when it wants to go outside. Live into that state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. It simply means let there be peace, peace, peace. Bring your mind to the right hand, your mind to the left hand. Raise both your palms, place it on your closed eyes, open the eyes inside. It is good to keep your hands little far away during this pandemic and know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Continue to do the practice every day in the morning and evening. You got one practice of relaxation mindfulness in the first session. You can do that practice anytime, anywhere.